So normally I have to fight Kaylee to get off the phone, so we're going live. She like stomps her feet around, puts her phone away slowly. Today, she was on her mat quicker than me, so I guess this is her favorite day.
It's leader day, but you're not doing it.
So we're gonna do we're gonna do our meditation today in a restorative pose. So what we're going to do, but first, is just get into the body. Just arrive in the mat. Just take some wiggles and try and get some of the energy, the stress of the world, anything that's going on in our body out first. So come to a seat, even if that's on a chair. Don't worry about being perfectly crisscrossed. There's no prizes for the perfect yoga seat. Find a seat that's comfortable, and we're just going to start to move in our torso. Just take our spine in little slow circles. So soft, slow, just moving through the parts, the directions that your spine can move in, and then reverse your circles. Just slowly, maybe feeling your shoulders, maybe wiggling them as you come around. And then come back to center, try and get nice and tall. And just take the shoulders over to the right. If you're sitting down, maybe drop the right hand. Maybe drop the left as you come over. And you can even begin to sway the arm, big rainbow shapes. Just starting to move side to side. Feeling the side body. Finding your breath. Inhale as you come through center. Exhale as you fold over. And come back to center. Take your shoulders one at a time as slow as you can up to the ear. So one at a time. Find all the muscles of the shoulder. Lower it down. And bring the other one up all the way up to the ear. And lower it down. And then roll the shoulders in towards the chest. And roll the shoulders nice and slow. Shoulder blades squeeze together. And then push the shoulder blades down and bring them up. Push them down, bring them up. Find the shoulders. And then let that go. Option to tuck the hands. Just let the hands rest on the hips, behind the back. And then lengthen, lengthen, lengthen the head and the neck. So push the head up to the sky and then take the right ear to the right shoulder. Breathe into that left side of your neck. Inhale back to center. Exhale, fold over to the other side and then breathe. And then back to center and slowly twisting chin to shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Finding your breath. Finding the muscles in your neck. Bring your chin back to center. Lower your chin all the way towards the chest. Feel the back of the neck. And then as if you're trying to feel every millimeter your head can move in, take your head in a really, really, really slow circle. Every tiny part of a circle. See if you can feel all of the muscles of the neck. And then bring the chin back to center and reverse the circle. Slowing the breath down, starting to really land in the physical body. Your head back to center. Cross your right hand over to your left shoulder and then cross your left hand over to your right shoulder. And we're going to think about the mid-back. So we're going to lift up our arms first and then hollow out our chest. Push our spine backwards, bring our arms down. And then that same circle that we just did with our head, we're going to do with our shoulders. So really slow. Roll your shoulders in a circle. Lift your arms up. Really working through the mid-back, slow as you can. Just trying to feel all the directions your upper back can move in, sorry. And then all the way back, in between the shoulders. Bring it back to center. Switch the cross of the arms, so unravel one and place it on the other direction. So now the other arm is on top, right arm should be on top. Bring the elbows down towards the knees. Hollow out the belly. Pull the chest backwards towards the spine. Round down. And then roll in a very slow circle. Slow as you can. Feeling your breath. Feeling all of the angles that you can move in your own body. Releasing some tension and then all the way back. And back to neutral. Release the hands. Roll the shoulders. Wiggle. Take the right arm out straight from the shoulder. Push the right arm away from you and then pull it back. So just trying to feel some muscles in the arm, in the shoulder. Watch for compensation patterns. I don't know if you could see that, but I was pulling on my left leg to move my arm. So watch for your compensation patterns. Look at your lower back. Watch your lower back. Just try to have an experience in your shoulder. And then open the right arm out to the side. Push out. And again, there's my compensation pattern. And pull back. So you're pushing out and then pulling the shoulder blade back. Finding as much movement as you can within the shoulder. And roll the wrist nice and slow. Bring it down. Land it in the left. Left arm out. Push it forward. And pull it back. Push forward. Pull it back. And then open up to the side. Push the arm away and then pull the shoulder blade back across the back. Push and pull. Notice your compensation patterns. Really have an internal experience with yourself. Whole point is to turn on that mind-body connection to find out what's going on. And then gentle wrist circles, nice and slow. Bring it down. Take both arms out, shoulder height. Push out and then roll the hands. Push back. Slowly bring the hands, back of the hands facing each other towards each other. And then push back. Squeeze towards each other, start to bring the chest in. And then push back, open up the chest. And then roll the hands, bring them down. Take a little soft wiggle with the shoulders. Feel the shoulders, the back. Feel the neck. We're going to lay down onto our backs. So we're not getting comfy yet. We're coming onto our backs to have a little bit more connection experience. So we're just trying to connect with parts of the body that commonly hold stress. And these are often the parts of our body that distract us when we try to do things like meditation. So come onto your back. Find your hips on the ground. Give your hips and knees and legs a wiggle. Soft sway. Land on the ground. Place your feet down on the ground wherever your knees, feet, legs, and hips are most comfortable, and especially your lower back. So find that position, wiggle it around. Find where everything feels soft and comfy. Nothing's pulling, nothing's gripping. We're not in a stretch pose. This is not stretchy day. We are just looking to reduce tension in the physical body. So allow the shoulders land on the ground. Find the back of the head and just let it gently roll across the back. And roll across your mat. Loosen, soften tension in the neck. Soften tension in the face. Bring your chin back towards the ceiling and really pay attention. Make sure your chin's to the ceiling and your back of your neck is not pushing itself, forcing itself down towards the ground. Take your fingertips and place them just behind the ears on the skull. So place your fingertips here, allow your arms to open, and wiggle them around like you're just gently tapping, walking your fingers around in this space. You might find a space right in behind here on the skull where you're like, oh, look at that, I'm holding tension there, and that feels really good to just press and hold gently. Just wiggle them around. If you're not holding any tension here, just wiggle them around, walk them around, circle them around in this space. Kind of exploring, you can walk all the way back towards the middle of the skull. Just exploring, releasing tension in around this space behind the ears. And then slowly walk your fingers down to where upper and lower jaw meets. Place some circles here. And if it feels good, you can place circles, or you can tap gently, or you can just place your fingers here and hold. And connect with your fingers. Really think about what your fingers are feeling, as well as what you're feeling underneath your fingers. And imagine just softening in. So whatever helps you think about releasing tension in this space. Maybe you think about your fingers being magical and warm or cooling for releasing inflammation. Maybe you think about them just being healing hands. Maybe you give them a color and imagine the color exchanging from your fingers into your jaw and softening all of the muscles around your jaw. And then push your jaw forward. So push it forward. Engage the muscles of the jaw. And then pull it back. Engage. Feel what's going on underneath your fingers. Push your jaw forward. Pull it back. Open your jaw as wide as it can go. And then wrap your bottom lip over your top. Pull your chin up. And then soften again. Back to little circles with your fingertips on this place where upper and lower jaw meet. And then just take pinchy fingers, index finger and thumb, and run them from the center of the chin across the lower jawbone back to the ears. Couple of strokes. And then let your hands soften wherever they are comfortable on the ground, wherever your shoulders feel comfortable. And gently bring a knee in at a time towards the chest. We're going to take the feet up. It doesn't matter where, how high, just above the heart. Wiggle the toes, spread the toes, look at the feet. Find the muscles of the feet. Take some movements and feel your feet, really trying to release tension in the feet. Spread the toes wide, wiggle gently. It's So if you're trying to make space in all of the joints in your feet, you have so many joints in your feet. So imagine you're trying to make space and release any gripping. Take your feet left and right. Slow, not just flopping, but really just trying to release your feet. Release any gripping in your feet. And then pedal them back and forth. Soft back, mindful of your compensation patterns. You can do this with your feet on the chair also. Bring your knees in and rock it. You're going to place the feet back down, not too close to the hips. Now we're just going to press into the feet and take a little wiggle with the hips, side to side. So pressing into the feet, let the hips wiggle and soften. Let the legs wiggle and soften. So you're looking for that reset that happens when the muscle completely just wiggles softly. See if you can get that down in your hips, into your legs, and your glutes. And then side sway the knees and hips. Nice and soft, nice and slow. Starting to find your breath. And now time to make your way to the position that you're going to be in for your meditation. So take your time, grab your props. Kayla's going to come over to this mat and I'm going to show you what we typically do for setting up. What your legs lifted today? I don't care. So she's going to lay on this black mat to give her extra support for her back while she's sleeping. While she's meditating, right?
Yes.
So, one of the things we often do is place a pillow up under the knees. So just like this, under the knees, her back is going to be a little bit softer because her legs are now pulling on that lower back, pulling into the lower back from the hamstrings. So, you can do this. If you do this, and it's not working for you, try something else. So another position that we do often is put our legs up on the chair. And Kaylee's legs are, well, they might be longer now, but typically they're a little bit shorter. So we actually use 2 bolsters for her instead. Is that comfy? Mm-hmm. She likes to cross her arms on her stomach. It's a holding pattern. Another thing you can do is put cushions in underneath the arms or blankets or towels or anything that you have. Other way. Oh. Doesn't that feel better? And then grab a blanket. Make sure you're comfortable. There are no prizes, especially because you're not even in this studio. Nobody is watching. Nobody is giving you any looks, anything to worry about. Let go of the whole idea of perfection or what you should or should not do. So if you're not comfortable on your back meditating and you'd prefer to be in some other position, take it. Go into some other position. You can curl up in a ball. You can go face down. You can go into child's pose. There's so many options. You can try to remain seated. This is a longer meditation. So remaining seated, you can sometimes get a little more feedback from the body. So if you're going to try and remain seated, find ways to be comfortable. Lift your hips up above your knees. Sit in a chair and use blocks underneath your arms so that you can place your arms up and your shoulders are soft so that they're not so much of a distraction. There are lots of things that you can do to try and remove the physical body distraction so that it's a little easier to bring your focus inside. So starting to land in your space. Starting to feel all the places that we thought about. The shoulders, the neck, the jaw. Do a little for the feet. Think about all those places. Think about sending your awareness to each of those places. So we're going to bring our awareness down to our left foot. And you can place your awareness as if it were an energy ball, if that helps you. If you're a visual person and you need to really think about visual things, place a ball of energy in your foot, or place something like a color into your foot. So you're really just focusing on your left foot. So look around in your left foot. How many things can you feel on your left foot? Can you feel the skin on the left foot? Can you feel the bottom of your left foot? Can you feel your big toe, your second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe? Can you feel all of the toes, the top of the foot, the base of the foot, the heel, the ankle? Finding sensation as if you're a baby and you just discovered you had a left foot. And then see if you can feel the left lower leg. Kneecap. Back of the knee. And then can you land your awareness entirely in the knee, thinking about nothing else but just what's going on in the left knee right now. And imagine you could find the bone in your left thigh and then circle your awareness around it, looking around the bone, looking at the muscles, looking at all the parts of the left leg, slowly working your way up to the left hip. And then can you think about just the left hip? And you can think about it visually, maybe even thinking about it anatomically, or just thinking about this space and placing a ball of energy, a color, something here to help you connect with this space. Think about only the left hip. Softening and releasing around the left hip. And whenever we explore and we find tension, try to stay away from what is, why is, all these questions. Try to stay away from the cognitive brain forcing its way in. And just gently try to find physical sensation, observing physical sensation in this space. What is present here? Getting to know your own physical body. And slowly walk your attention across the hips. Noticing what is present across the hips, maybe even the lower back. Land in the right hip. Be only in the right hip. Observe what's in this space. Find sensation here. And then imagine you could find the bone in your thigh and roll your attention around it as you slowly walk down towards the knee. Find the right kneecap behind the knee, and then the whole knee joint, all of the knee, Walk your way slowly down the lower leg, finding sensation in the lower leg, softening, releasing, ungripping, observing, experiencing. Land in the right ankle. Find the sole of the right foot, the top of the right foot. Right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Can you find sensation in the entire right foot? How many things can you feel within the right foot? And then gently draw your awareness to the left thumb. Can you feel the tip of the left thumb? And the entire thumb. And then your first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. You feel the top of the left hand, the skin on the top of the left hand. Can you feel the space just above the skin on the left hand? Can you feel the palm of the left hand? Right in the center of the left hand. And then can you feel just above the palm, the space just above your skin? Perhaps taking in the temperature around your hand. Notice the left wrist. Imagine you could inject little pockets of fluffy softness in space around each of the little teeny tiny joints in the wrist. Slowly walking up the left forearm and gripping and softening and loosening. Landing in the left elbow, making space and softness. Slowly walk up the left upper arm. Land in the left shoulder joint, right in the center of the joint. Imagine you can inject a little softness and fluffiness, undoing any wear and tear and time, and tension, and gripping, sweeping it away, letting go, loosening and softening. And then can you become aware of everything from the left shoulder to the left fingertips? How many things can you find sensation in? Can you find sensation in the air just above your skin? Can you imagine being aware of the exact position of the bones? Perhaps even allowing the muscles to connect with the brain, Telling the muscles of the arm and shoulder that all the work is done for now. Bones are supported on the ground. They can surrender their job. The muscles can let go and release and soften. And gently switch your awareness over to your right hand thumb. Find the tip of the thumb. Find the entire right thumb. First finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. Top of the right hand. Can you feel the air just above the skin on the right hand, on the top of the right hand? And then draw your awareness to the palm of the right hand. Can you become aware of the space just above the palm of the right hand? And then land your awareness right in the right wrist, imagining placing little pockets of space and softness in between each of the tiny bones. Ungripping and softening all the way up to the elbow. Landing in the elbow, and again, soft space, ungripping. Maybe even imagining placing little fluffy, soft clouds of cushion and comfort in each joint as we pause. And slowly bringing softness up the upper arm. Land in the right shoulder joint, right in the center of the joint. And here, softness, space, ungripping. And then can you find sensation from the tips of the fingers on the right hand all the way to the shoulder, filling up your awareness in the entire right arm, as if discovering it for the first time. Perhaps even becoming so focused on your right arm that you feel like you're only your right arm right now. And then find awareness in both arms. Left arm, right arm, both arms, left palm, right palm, both palms, left fingertips, right fingertips, both fingertips. And then whenever your hands are, imagine connecting sensation from your left arm to your right arm through the hands. So whatever helps you visualize this energy path. Maybe there's a river flowing between the hands, maybe just a color maybe a texture or temperature. Whatever helps you imagine a connection from the left hand to the right hand and back. And then slowly draw your awareness to the center of the shoulders. So coming right to the neck. Slowly observing and feeling and experiencing the neck all the way up to where the head meets the neck. Checking in as if you're trying to observe each cell in your body. Observing, experiencing, letting go, ungripping, softening. And then imagine you could walk your awareness up your spine until you land right at the point where your spine meets your brain. Whenever helps you visualize this and land here, you can think of it anatomically. If you're scientifically minded, think of it anatomically. Just watch your attention walk up your spine, up your vertebrae, and land at the base of your brain, where the brain meets the spine. This information connection point. Landing here. Maybe you're a little tiny miniature version of yourself and you're going to climb up your spine and land in the middle. Or maybe you're a little bit more abstract in your visual and you just place a small soft ball of energy right at this point. There are many ways, many paths. Find the one that works for you. Land in this space. Notice what happens when you land here. Did you begin to see your thoughts? Does your mind begin to distract you? There are no right or wrong answers, just inquiries. Inquire, open, soften, observe. Inquire, listen compassionately. Our brain is constantly firing, 100% of the time, even when we're sleeping. Sometimes we notice the thoughts more times than others, more than at other times. Sometimes we get caught up in them. Sometimes we try too hard to understand them. And sometimes we can just sit back and let it happen. And placing our awareness right in the central point of our brain. We imagine sitting in the very center of our energetic highway, this place where all the information passes. Messages from our toes back to our brain and all the way up and down our spine to our fingertips. Messages from our organs, our skin, everything comes back here to be processed. thinking about all these messages our physical body sends, and without the cognitive brain having to understand, so many of them are just moving and functioning without our control. Our heart continues to beat. When we sleep and turn off our brain, our breath continues. So can we imagine sitting in this space and allowing the thoughts to just continue, just as if they were the breath while we were sleeping? Allowing them to do what they do, and when they come in and distract, just noticing that they're a distraction, that they're a filter, that they're a thing that happens. And trying to remain in this little place right in the center. Noticing them, seeing them, trying not to judge them. Noticing the thoughts as filters of information, just as the temperature in our skin is a filter of our environment. Perhaps we can begin to even notice waves of emotion, or feelings of emotion, sensation. And trying to understand or let go, as they are also just filters for the environment. Filters for the physical body and how it's doing. Filters for the mental mind. Part of our warning system. These are all just filters. And they're all processed right here in that central point of the brain. Can we sit right in the center? Whenever a thought distracts you so much you trail away, just gently walk your awareness right back to that center point of the mind. I mean, if you get really lost and you're really struggling to come back to this center point, place an image here. Maybe it's a little miniature version of yourself sitting deep inside, far away from all the distractions. Or maybe you have a flower or something that brings you comfort that you can easily visualize and place it here. Whenever you get really distracted, really pulled away, take a moment to notice perhaps any physical parts of the body that may have increased tension while you were distracted. And then gently just place this visual right in the center of the mind and paint in the details slowly, really seeing them inside your mind. Use your imagination. And if it's a flower and you get half a petal painted before you get pulled back away, return to your half pedal. And if you return to your half pedal and you judged yourself, walking yourself back all the way, saying, I shouldn't be this distracted, I shouldn't think this, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do that, I should be doing this. Try to observe those thoughts and judgments as you gently and slowly and kindly walk yourself back to the center, letting go. Let go of the fight. We do not need to fight to remove the thoughts. We do not need to fight to remove the memories, to remove the distractions. Just gently slip below them and just observe. Let them do as they do. The thoughts are particularly distracting today, and you're struggling to stay in your center, and you're just repainting your flower or your picture, your comfort item over and over and over again. Just practice, just do that, just be there. Lose yourself, paint your comfort item. Lose yourself, paint your comfort item. Practice this letting go, coming back to center, walking right back to the center of your mind without all the pressure and judgment. Let go, come back. Let go, come back. And if you feel like you're in your center, and today is the day where you can maybe go a little deeper, place a little image, a miniature version of yourself, right in the center of your brain. And gently imagine this little version of yourself walking down towards the heart center, the center of the chest. Imagine you're walking down the stairs of your spine, and as you go, you feel deeper and deeper and deeper and further away from the layers of the physical body, from the layers of the mind, from the layers of the feelings, the cognitive brain, closer and closer and closer to your center, your heart center. Maybe so deep and so quiet within, you can nestle into this space like you're curling up in your own heart space. And begin to hear the sound of your own heart beating. If you made it down to your heart space, imagine that the wisdom of the universe rests right here. And as you're curled up in this sacred space, imagine just being open. Open to the magic of the universe, open to the wisdom of those that have been before us. Open to the possibility of letting go of any of our burdens and sharing them. So imagine letting go of the weight. Imagine in this space are all of your ancestors and wise people before you, and they're gathered around you, ready to help you and carry your load. Imagining the protection and unconditional love that this space provides. Connecting with it. In a very begin to walk your attention back towards the physical body. Bring little soft, gentle movements to the fingers and to the toes. Begin to connect with the temperature of the room on your skin. Perhaps feeling the weight of your blanket or clothing, the support of whatever you're resting on, your cushions, your blankets. If your eyes were closed for meditation, softly, softly, softly blink your eyes open as if peeking out slowly. Remembering one knee in at a time to the chest and curling up in the ball in the fetal position. Ground down in this ritual. Coming to this pose to remind ourselves of a time in the womb when all of our needs were met. A time when we had not judged ourselves as negative or positive. We were just a little spark of life. And in coming to this pose, we can remember that that spark of life exists within us, unchanged by our experiences. And as you slowly come on up to a seated position, bring your hands to prayer at heart space. And connect with this gesture of bringing our left and right sides to meet in front of our heart. This gesture of accepting ourselves as whole and complete, precisely as we are. May we all learn to love ourselves unconditionally. May we all learn to fire that inner critic and give ourselves bucket loads of more patience and kindness. May we all know love, light, and connection. Thanks for joining us.